Welcome, everyone, to Sustainably Compliant Conversations. Ready to dive deep?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, diving in. And wow, this time we're tackling climate change, huh? You guys really sent in a ton on this one.
Yeah, definitely seems like everyone's fired up about this. And for good reason, right?
For sure. And it looks like you guys are ready to go way beyond, like, the basics. You want the inside scoop on how young people, and I'm guessing that means you listening right now,
Definitely.
can actually be the ones to make a difference, not just, learn about the problem.
Totally. I mean, the energy coming from young people these days it's really something else.
Okay, so getting into it, you flagged a bunch of stuff about rising sea levels, which honestly, that always sends a little chill down my spine.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's one of those things that feels really like big and kind of scary.
Exactly. And then there's this whole thing about climate refugees, which I gotta say, that phrase really stuck with me.
Right. And it really drives home the point that this isn't some abstract problem, it's affecting real people's lives in very real ways.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's all tied back to, well, the science of it all, which seems to be right up your alley.
It is, and honestly, this is where things get really interesting. So we got to differentiate between like weather and climate, right? Weather is what's happening outside your window right now, sunny, rainy, whatever. It's always changing.
Right, like my mood.
Exactly. But climate, that's more like your personality. It's the long-term average weather patterns over a really long period of time. We're talking like decades, even centuries. And just like our personalities, the Earth's climate can naturally shift and evolve.
Okay, so then what's the big deal?
The big deal is that these changes, they're happening way faster than they should naturally. And that's mainly because of, well, us.
Humans.
Human activity. That's where those greenhouse gases everyone's always talking about come into play, right?
Yeah.
I saw you highlighting some articles about like crazy high CO2 emissions and stuff. Yep, that's the heart of it. So picture this. Earth is wrapped up in this cozy blanket, right? That's the atmosphere. And naturally, there are these gases in the atmosphere, greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane. They're like the insulation of our planet's blanket. They trap some of the sun's heat and keep things livable.
Okay, cozy blanket. I'm with you so far.
Perfect. So now imagine we start piling on extra layers of blankets. That's what we're doing when we burn fossil fuels like crazy. All those emissions, they're like thickening the blanket, trapping more heat than we need.
And that extra heat, it doesn't just make things a little bit warmer, does it? I mean, we're talking extreme weather, messed up ecosystems.
Exactly. Think about it. More heat means more energy in the system. So yeah, we're seeing more intense storms, worse droughts, and, like you pointed out, those rising sea levels that freaked us out earlier.
And then there's that note you made about agriculture, which really caught my eye.
Right. That's the thing about climate change. It's not just about the environment in some abstract way. It affects everything. The food we eat, the water we drink, even, where we can live. Those changing temperatures and rain patterns, they can really mess with crop yields. We could be looking at food shortages, price hikes. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Okay, so big interconnected problems, and it feels like we hear about this stuff all the time, right? But then going through these materials, there's also this whole other side to it, this incredible wave of student activism and youth-led movements that are like demanding action and pushing for change. It's actually pretty inspiring.
It is, and it gives me a lot of hope, to be honest. Young people aren't just like sitting back and waiting for someone else to fix things. They're the ones organizing climate strikes, pushing for sustainable policies, holding leaders accountable. They're not afraid to be loud and make their voices heard, which is exactly what we need right now.
I love that. But let's get practical for a sec. Say our listener, a student, wants to do more than just recycle their cans. What would you tell them?
Okay, first off, those individual actions do matter. But like you said, let's think bigger. I always tell young people, find your people, connect with local environmental groups, join a campus sustainability club. There's power in numbers.
It's not joining forces, really.
Exactly. And once you've found your crew, get involved however feels right. Participate in those climate strikes. Start a petition. Write to your elected officials. There are so many ways to make your voice heard and push for change on a larger scale.
You actually pulled out a few notes here about some really cool climate initiatives happening on your own campus. Can you tell us a bit about those?
Yeah, for sure. There's this one group that's pushing for the university to divest from fossil fuels, which is huge.
Big ask.
Definitely. But they're making progress. And then there's another group that started a community garden, which is awesome. It's all about like local food systems, sustainability, bringing people together. It's really inspiring to see.
It really is. And it just goes to show there's so much potential for young people, like our listener, to be at the forefront of this movement.
Absolutely. And don't forget, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's always more to learn, more ways to get involved. The key is to stay curious, stay engaged, and never underestimate the power of your voice, especially when it comes to something as important as the future of our planet.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And hey, listener, we've included links to all those reports and articles, so if any of this sparked your curiosity, go check them out. Consider it your official climate action starter kit.
There you go.
And remember, even small actions can make a difference. Keep asking those tough questions, keep pushing for change, and we'll catch you in the next deep dive.
See you then.